Yo, 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 welcome everybody to my final reaction of July 24th, guys. Until I wake up, then I'll do like probably, I'll do another reaction during the night, but it might be July 25th by the time I do it. My final reaction, guys. Nintendo sued and lost. What happened to the Game Genie? Let's check it out. Now, the picture was it showed the Game Genie on a Switch cartridge. I'm not sure if it's going to be on a Switch cartridge, but let's check it out.
Back in the 1980s, video games were tough.
Tell me about it, bro.
There was no World Wide Web to look up how to beat games. If you were lucky, your favorite...
Bro, I tried playing Donkey Kong Country. That you just fall off the map and die. Oh my gosh, games can get frustrating, bro.
Game magazine might talk about a game you're playing. And if you were...
I know, right? It's all word of mouth. Look at this, bro.
Really lucky, they would give out strategies or...
Look at that, man. That's BS.
Cheat codes.
You're dead. You start back from the start if that happens.
To help you out.
I was trying to play Sonic on. Oh my gosh, bro! It's so hard with the touchpad, bro. Because they have it for Android. Oh my gosh.
Developers intentionally made games very difficult because the games usually weren't very long due to memory constraints amongst other limitations. They would make them tough so it would take you multiple tries over days to get good enough to beat them.
See? That's actually a good thing. I mean, that's a smart idea, though, you know? Trying to find the hardest game possible, right, guys?
This style of game design was mostly a layover from arcade machines, where they would be purposefully difficult to get as many quarters.
Bro's trying to make a permanent arcade game that you don't have to pay to win for.
From you as possible. A lot of the time, NES games were frustrating. But thankfully, there was a product that hit the market in 1990 that changed everything. This
Let's go.
Was the Game Genie, a device that was marketed as a game enhancer and promised to give you infinite lives, higher jumps, and harder punches on the most popular NES.
They weren't lying. They weren't lying. Man, even back then, Nintendo was trying to sue, guys. Even back then.
Games. Game Genie was developed by a company called Codemasters, who was based out of England. And in order to bring their product to North
They've been suing for 30 plus years, 40 years.
America, Codemasters teamed up with a company called Camerica, a Canadian video game publisher.
Well, it looks like a fun game.
Who initially licensed the game
Reminds me of a game I used to play called Egbert.
Genie for distribution.
If anyone remembers that. It had a level builder, man. It was so fun.
In Canada. Codemasters also wanted Camerica to distribute the Game Genie in the United States, but Camerica wasn't set up for this and sold the idea to a US company called Galoob.
They're selling ROM hacks, guys. ROM hacks back in the day.
A mammoth in the toy industry, and at the time was one of the biggest toy companies in the world.
Sheesh, bro. They're unheard of now. The flip is Galoob.
Game Genie was a literal game changer. You would slide it onto your NES cartridge, then you'd pop this long boy into your Nintendo, taking great care so that it slides all the way back. Quite like an actual genie, the Game Genie would handle up to 3 codes at once, essentially giving you 3 wishes. Game Genie would directly interface
That's cool.
with the cartridge you hooked it up
It's stuck out of the freaking NES, man.
to. It would intercept read requests from the Nintendo and respond with its own replacement values. For example, when the Nintendo would load in a game's data, it would know where to find that data by accessing it in a specific memory location. Normally,
Bro, how do you even find it? How do you figure this out, man? It's like magic, bro.
it would find this in the ROM on the cartridge. But what's interesting about the Game Genie was that it was able to trick the Nintendo. So when the Nintendo would access a value at a specific memory location on the cartridge, the Game Genie would pretend to be the cartridge, giving the Nintendo the
Nah, bro. What a champ.
value you set when you
it punched
in your code. Those seemingly random letters that you used on the Game Genie screen actually decipher into memory addresses and values which the CPU understands.
Yo, video game dudes, talk to me!
Dog, what am I looking at?
Galoob absolutely nailed the Game Genie advertising campaign, releasing television commercials and magazines.
Don't see those that often anymore. That'd be cool if we still had cheats advertised for PS5 games and stuff. Nintendo Switch games, that'd be awesome.
Ads using exciting electric designs and mimicking pop culture icons like Bill and Ted. The best part of the whole thing was that Galoob was 100% honest about this product. It did give you infinite lives, it did make you jump higher, and it did make you punch harder.
The first cheats.
It
Oh snap. That's a little Mac right there, bro.
was exciting, and it did
Is that Mario? It looks like Mario. But it's like the bigger Mario.
indeed level the playing field.
And that guy's huge. How did he take that guy out in like a few hits?
For the first time ever, anyone at any skill level could use the Game Genie to play through NES games that were beyond their skill level, removing many of the frustrating
They put Mike Tyson in the game.
barriers. With the fact that Game Genie allowed players to drastically alter games from how they were meant to be played, it was only a matter of time until this resulted in a lawsuit.
Uh-oh.
A common misconception regarding the Nintendo vs. Galoob lawsuit was that Nintendo initiated litigation against Galoob. This is not true. It was Galoob which fired first, not Nintendo.
What?
On May 17, 1990, Galoob preemptively sought court judgment that Game Genie did not violate Nintendo's copyrights, while also seeking injunction that Nintendo be restricted from interfering with the sales of Game Genie. Even
Dang, bro, they fired the pre-shots, bro.
asking
Somehow they ended up firing shots first.
the court to stop Nintendo from revising its hardware to make it incompatible with the game.
Currently enjoining Nintendo from modifying the NES. They knew it was coming before Nintendo even decided to go after them, bro.
Genie. Now, obviously, this didn't sit well with Nintendo, a giant corporation pushing around another giant corporation, and soon after, Nintendo fired back with their own lawsuits against Galoob. Less than 2 months later, the courts issued a preliminary injunction favoring Nintendo
Bro, what am I watching, dog? What kind of mod is this?
and ordering Galoob to stop sales of the Game Genie in the US while the court case played out. The whole case took place over the course of a year, with Nintendo claiming the Game Genie created derivative
It's teabagging.
works of their software, even going as far as to bring Shigeru Miyamoto to the San Francisco courtroom.
Dang, bro, all over Game Genie.
Ultimately, the case was not successful for Nintendo, and the court found that since the changes the Game Genie made were not permanent, it was, in fact, not
It's like, well, it's almost like copyright, bro. They weren't. Like a copyright case.
creating derivative works. This was a very high-profile case for the time, which is still cited today.
Dang, bro, they lost.
In the end, Galoob came out on top, costing Nintendo approximately $15 million.
What? How'd they get money, bro? They sued him first. What the heck?
And their newfound
Plus interest.
victory, Codemasters and Galoob went on to create Game Genies for other popular consoles of the day. The Game Boy, the Super Nintendo, the Sega Game Gear, and the Sega Genesis.
I didn't use the Game Genie, guys. I was way too. The only thing I used was Action Replay. Because I was into gaming, like at the DS and stuff. That's what I used, Action Replay, guys.
Another common misconception about Game Genie for Sega is that Sega welcomed the Game Genie with open arms, gladly stamping it with their seal of approval.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Well, in all actuality, Codemasters had already developed the Game Genie for Genesis and Mega Drive, and Galoob approached Sega with the ultimatum, "This is what we're doing, either you agree or we'll see you in court." And with how badly they beat Nintendo, Sega didn't want a piece of that. Codemasters got as far as developing a Game Genie 2 for Super Nintendo, but unfortunately it was never released.
And that would have been cool. It would have been cool to see what mods they released for it, but now it's not. It's gonna be gone. All the files are gone, probably.
It's said that the Game Genie 2 was completed and ready to be released, but due to market conditions, it never came out.
No.
On top of that,
Dude, why do games always do that?
Codemasters publisher Galoob was purchased by Hasbro in 1998, which further complicated things. But that wasn't the end of cheat devices. In the years following, other brands
Dude, I like watching this load up, man.
released cheat devices for then modern consoles. Action Replay,
That's what I use. Action Replay, Game Shark.
Game Shark, Codebreaker, all became familiar names to gamers over the years. With the introduction of online services, trophies, and achievements, cheat devices tapered off at the end of the 6th generation of consoles.
Yeah, man, they're gone now. It's a thing of the past, brothers.
A company called Hyperkin attempted to reboot the Game Genie brand in the early 2010s, releasing devices for both Nintendo DS as well as a version for PlayStation 3. But
I had actual replay for the DS.
these devices only supported a limited amount of games and worked offline.
Like you could I was using actual replay for the DS, guys. I swear. And you could cheat online as well, guys. I was cheating online for a little. As sad as it was, I was one of those sad hackers back in the day for just a little, man, because I thought it was cool. I stopped. No, I stopped.
By editing your save files. These products were patched by Nintendo and Sony, and eventually Hyperkin halted support for the new Game Genie. The Game Genie was where it was at back in the old days. We'll probably never see something like this again, and that's fine with me. Ultimately, games are not designed in the same way they used to be. Gone are the days of
no way. They'll just release a patch and it's over with, guys. You know what I mean?
Crushing difficulty to hide the fact that the game's only 20 minutes.
Because they'll design it that you need online to play, and then bam, you're done. You're screwed.
It's long. Games have evolved to be more fair to the player, with the goal of keeping them playing for as long as possible. And with the move to online gaming, these days it's more important than ever to keep a level playing field.
Basically.
Online multiplayer is so much fun, and only
I know, right? It's so addicting, bro.
scumbags cheat in online games. Don't be one of those guys.
I know, right? It hurts when someone does that.
Something else that's interesting is that we've not only seen the dissolution of
even though I do not have done it. Sorry, I do not recommend doing it, bro. It makes me sad because they cheat using AHK on me in RuneScape.
Cheat devices, but also cheat codes as well. You used to be able to punch in a code on the controller to get things like infinite rockets. So
that'd be cool, man. There's this one input I couldn't, like, for some reason I couldn't play The Sims. I couldn't use Sims cheat codes. It was like impossible for me, man. I was trying it. I tried it for like 3 or 4 hours straight, and I only could get it like a few times. I was legit so pissed off, man.
you could mess around and explode everything. Yeah, you can still mod games on PC, but cheat codes used to be common on consoles, and you don't see it all that much these days.
Sadly.
Mostly because this would interfere with trophies and achievements. But
yeah, don't want to cheat yourself. Like, there's leaderboards now, bro.
That's okay. We'll always have the original Game Genie, which was designed for a simpler time when it was necessary. If you enjoyed this video,
yeah, man, don't be making games too hard now. I don't like getting stuck at one spot in the game, bro. It hurts. It legit.
make sure to hit that like button
I will internally rage
to let me know. I'm trying to grow my little channel here, so if you liked what you saw,
You said little channel, bro. Your channel's quite huge, I think, but cool video. Dang, this must have been when he first started out. Well, his channel's pretty grown now, guys. He's almost at 80k subs. Check out gruz in the description. I'll see you guys next video. Peace out, everyone. Thank you for watching.